Okay, done. David.
Ihr hat gewiss, liebe Menschen, geheiert, was auf dem Java war, hat sich verlaufen. Amerikanische Schiff hat sich übergekehrt und viele Menschen sind ertrunken geworden. Euch stellt euch vor, liebe Menschen, die Kantine, wie groß ist gewesen Gottes Zorn. Denn viel Wasser ist rein in die Maschinen und der Lektor ist verloschen geworden. Alle sind sich gesessen im Frieden. Sehr afraid hat doch keiner nicht gesteuert. Sie haben geschrien, lieber Gott, was tust du uns zu schäden? Aber der liebe Gott hat sich zu sehen nicht zugehört. Euch stellt euch vor, liebe Menschen, die Kantine, wie groß ist gewesen Gottes Zorn, wenn viele Wasser ist rein in die Maschinen. Und der Lektor ist verloschen geworden. Dai, 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 dai. Da, da, dai, dai, da, da, dai, da, da. Dai, 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 dai. Da, da, dai, dai, da, da, dai, dai, dai.
Yes, dear.
Okay, what happened? For some reason, I closed the share. Okay, let's start reading it. Janet, are you here? Can you read the English? You are all muted, so unmute yourself when you start reading, okay?
We have seen that Yiddish songs sometimes dealt with current events, pogroms in Tsarist Russia, the working conditions in the sweatshop, the effects of immigration on traditional Jewish life, the nuclear disaster in Chernobyl, etc. One of the most heartbreaking was the elegy for the victims of the Triangle Fire. The horrifying wreck of the Titanic in 1912, with the loss of more than 1,500 lives, inspired a number of Yiddish songs, some of which were performed in Warsaw in the 1930s. 3 versions appeared in the journal Yiddish Folklore in 1954. The version sung here by Zalman Blotek was one of them. It was included in the anthology edited by his parents, Kana and Yoso Mlotek. Mlotek sang the song last year as part of his living room concert series. Note, the Titanic was a British ship, not an American ship. The word Kartine means seen. Maschinen here refers to the engines that run the Titanic.
Okay, thank you. Is Bob here? Do you see him? No. Okay. Alvin, can you start reading, Alvin?
Ja, hat gewiss, liebe Menschen, gehört, was auf dem Yom hat sich verlaufen. You know, you knew, dear folks, heard what on the sea, what happened on the sea. On an Amerikaner Schiff hat sich übergekehrt. Viele Menschen sind der Trunken geworden. An American ship turned over, and many people
Drowned.
so many people drowned. I mean, many people have drowned.
Okay, good. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, Judy, can you go on? Judy.
I'll try.
You will try. If there will be any problem, Maurice will help.
Well, I might need help with the Yiddish too. Okay. Oi, stell sich vor, liebe Menschen, die Katina, wie groß ist gewesen Gott Zorn, wie viel Wasser ist rein in die Maschine und die Elektriker ist verloschen geworden. Okay. I'm not sure about the very first part. Something, dear people, the scene. Stell euch vor. I don't know what that is. Stell.
Imagine.
Just imagine.
Imagine.
Okay, thank you. Just imagine, dear people, the scene. Grace.
Voice is.
How big was dear? I'm not sure.
Zorn is anger. God's zorn, God's anger.
Okay, water is went into the machine, or in and I'm not sure the last line.
And the electricity was turned off. Went off.
Okay, all right.
Was meint Kartina?
Scene.
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 S-C-E-N-E.
Thank you.
Right.
I should have done.
You're saying, imagine the scene.
Yeah, imagine I knew, but Kartina. Never heard that.
Okay. Isabel, can you continue?
I don't know. I don't see it. Oh,
It's
this is the new one.
on the
Okay.
screen.
Oi, Hotten klar?
Hussenkalle. Hussenkalle.
Oh, Hottenkalle. Sennen sich gesessen in Frieden, sorry. Sehr Fried hat noch keiner nicht gestört. Sie haben geschrien, lieber Gott, was tust du uns am Zerschehenden? Aber der liebe Gott hat sich zu sehr nicht zugehört.
Good.
Yeah.
I need help.
Okay. So Maurice will help, but you read well? Yeah. Maurice, help her.
Okay, Hussenkalle sennen sich gesessen in Frieden. This couple, this bride-to-be, bridegroom, was sitting happily in Frieden. Their Fried hat noch keiner nicht gestört. No one had yet disturbed their happiness. Sie haben geschrien, lieber Gott. They screamed, dear God, was tust du
uns zu scheiden. What are you doing? You're separating us. Aber der liebe Gott hat sich zu sehr nicht zugehört. But the dear God did not listen to them.
Okay, thanks. Bob, I know that that's not what we agreed upon, but maybe you can read it. Just that when I looked for you, you were not there. So, Bob, did you hear me? Bob,
Mina,
yeah, Neely.
can you send me the words of this now to my email?
Now I will try. Bob, I'm
Okay,
sorry, but
thank
when
you.
we started, you were
I'll
not
do it,
around.
Minna. I can take care of it.
You do it? Okay, okay. So,
Thank you very much.
okay. So if you can read this, Bob, I think you can read it.
Euch stellt euch vor, liebe Menschen, die Kantine. Wie groß ist gewesen Gott's Zorn. Wenn viel Wasser ist rein in die Maschine und die Elektria ist verlassen geworden. Just imagine all of this, this scene, dear people, how God has become angry with, imagine, how God's anger, how God, was so angry. When all this, so much water went into the engines, it says, and the power just stopped.
Good.
Okay, yeah, good, thanks. Maurice, you want to add anything before we listen to it once again?
Just in the very first sentence, the word gewiss means surely, means certainly. Ihr hat gewiss gehört. You certainly heard, dear people. That's what gewiss means.
Sodden.
Zorn is rage. It's anger.
Oh, I know.
Tremendous anger.
Yes, they like the word sudus. Yeah, okay.
No, it's not sulus.
No.
It's a different,
Sodden.
origin. Yeah.
Sodden is
Surus is problems. This is anger.
anger. Okay, same time.
Okay, so let's listen once again. I'm muting you all. Just a moment.
Dai, 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 dai. Dai, 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 dai. Ihr habt gewiss, liebe Menschen, geheiert, was auf dem Java-Waham hat sich verlaufen. Amerikanische Schiff hat sich übergekehrt und viele Menschen sind vertrunken geworden. Euch stellt euch vor, liebe Menschen, die Kantine, wie groß ist gewesen.
Okay, I see. Okay, I see what happens now. Just a moment. I will try.
Dai, 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 dai. Dai, 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 dai. Ihr habt gewiss, liebe Menschen, geheiert, was auf dem Java-Waham hat sich verlaufen. Amerikanische Schiff hat sich übergekehrt und viele Menschen sind vertrunken geworden. Euch stellt euch vor, liebe Menschen, die Kantine, wie groß ist gewesen Gottes Zorn, wenn viele Wasser ist rein in die Maschinen und der Lektor ist verloschen geworden. Dai, 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 dai. Da da dai, dai, da da dai, da dai. Dai, 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 dai. Da da dai, dai, da da dai, dai. Euch aus dem Kalle sind sich gesessen im Frieden. Sehr Freit hat doch keiner nicht gesteuert. Sie haben geschrien, lieber Gott, was tust du uns zu schäden? Aber der liebe Gott hat sich zu sehen nicht zugehört. Euch stellt sich vor, liebe Menschen, die Kartine, wie groß ist gewesen Gottes Zorn, wenn viele Wasser ist rein in die Maschinen und der Lektor ist verloschen geworden. Dai, 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 dai. Da da dai, dai, da da dai, da da. Dai, 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 dai. Da da dai, dai, da da dai, dai, dai.
Who
Any
would,
comments, any questions?
yes, who were the people that gave up their lives? There were a lot of very wealthy people on that ship. And I don't know if it was Strauss or maybe someone knows. They were very wealthy, but they gave up their lives so that the women could go on the boats. Do you know who they were? It's written in somewhere in the history.
Yeah, the Strausses.
I thought
Abraham.
so.
Yeah.
I thought so. They died.
Yeah.
Cookie, but you're muted. I muted all of you. So when you want to talk, unmute yourself. Cookie, yeah. Okay, someone else until Cookie finds the unmute button.
Well, they said that it was the safest ship to go on. That's why they went. But it says Americana. Are you saying it was British?
Yes, this is the White Line.
But
Yeah.
it said in his song, Americana ship.
It was on the way. It was on the way to America.
It was misinformation.
And it had American people probably. But it was very, very touted to be very safe. That's why they went. And fancy to, it was a fancy thing to do.
But there were a lot of third-class people on that ship.
Any more comments or questions or anything? Cookie, I just find the unmute button. I don't know. I cannot. Okay. Well, we will move on to the story.
Moving on.
And Mariv or Steve, maybe you can direct her to the unmute button.
What?
Lower left-hand corner.
Yeah. Cookie,
Lower left-hand corner.
left hand corner.
Thanks for translating.
Yeah. No, you see, I cannot do it because
I got it.
left and right are the same.
I got it.
Good news and bad news.
You hear me now?
Yes.
A few pertinent facts about the Titanic. First of all, the men were not allowed on, only the women and children, and their wives who decided to stay behind with their husbands, the older couples. It was considered an unsinkable ship. That's one thing. Also, a little bit of information. My first cousin was David Sarnoff, and he was a wireless operator sitting in John Wanamaker's department store. He was a Morse code operator, and he got the SOS from the Titanic. He was a friend of Guglielmo Marconi, Major General, Brigadier General David Sarnoff. So if you look
That's
up
right.
David Sarnoff, he's one of the top
Founders of RCA.
Yes. Yeah, that was my father's eldest sister's first son, and he was born 6 months before my father, who was his uncle. My
Yeah.
Bubby was still having babies, and even had my Aunt Rose afterwards. So the uncle was 6 months younger than his nephew. Yes, David Sarnoff. Look him up. You'll find an awful lot of information.
I think he was called the
That was
general.
it. What?
He was the general.
Yes, he was called General David Sarnoff. And I got a big honor when my mother passed away. She had a funeral like John Kennedy. We followed her in the streets on 13th Avenue in Borough Park. That was a big thing to stop traffic.
Oh,
Go
God
to
help
3
me.
different shuls, you know. But he came with his chauffeur. And I remember saying, I wouldn't even call him David. I said, Cousin David. I said, thank you so much for coming. And I remember him saying, I didn't realize your mother was such a wonderful woman. I only hope that when I die, I get the same respect and honor that she has gotten here today. I never forgot him saying that to me. And that's my
Thank you,
story
Cookie.
with that son.
Thank you. Cookie. Thank you. Okay, but thank you very much. But I think we should move to the Rosh Hashanah story. Okay?
Sure.
I'll let you go.
Sorry? Okay. Do you see? I will make it bigger. Okay?
Nice.
So,
A little
for
more.
your convenience, Rafael sent us a file where he translates. So, Grese Vidus?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's good.
So Rafael sent us a file with the explanation and translation of Russian Ukrainian words. So we will read it. This is from the, all the work, alle Werk by Sholem Aleichem. But if you want the explanation and everything, just consult Rafael's file. Okay, so Morty, please, can you start reading?
Sure. Nishtu kanais, zwei leshone toive brieflich. Eins, wo a Schneider von Amerika schreibt zu seins a Freund in der Heim. Zweitens, wo a Schneider von der Heim schreibt zu sein Freund in Amerika. Aleph. Mai der friend Yisroel.
Yeah, but translate. Don't forget. Okay.
There are no news. The title. 2 letters for Rosh Hashanah. The first one, what a tailor in America writes to his friend back home. Number 2, what the tailor in the old home writes to his friend in America. Aleph. My der friend Yisrolik.
That's English. English.
My dear friend Yisrolik. Leshona toiva techatevu v'techazmeina. Have a good writing and signed New Year. Du mit dein wife in mit deine children. You and your wife and your children. Ihr soll sein all right mit kol Yisrael umein. You may be all right with all of Israel umein. Wir haben groß Trouble von dem, was du schreibst uns nicht kein letters. We have a lot of trouble coming from the fact that you do not write letters to us. Warum sind es haben sich ungeheuben bei euch der Revolution mit der Constitution, mit the massacres? Because since they started over there with the revolution and the constitution and the massacres, gain Mirarum disappointed mamish unkep. We are going around disappointed without a head. All trouble, that means. Oi dus, was unser Papers schreiben, if that which our papers write is nicht kein bluff, is not a bluff, hat men schon bedarft a weglegen bei euch a halbe Welt. They would have already destroyed about half the world. Alle Tag hören mir von euch an andere sensation. Every day we hear from you another sensation. Nächten habe ich gelehnt a Kaibel as Mr. Khrushchev, der Präsident von der Vierter Dume, hat men gehargen. Yesterday, I read a cable that Mr. Khrushchev, the president from the first parliament, was murdered.
Fourth.
Sorry?
The fourth Duma.
Oh,
Vierter
sorry.
Duma.
Yeah, the fourth Duma, Vierter Duma, the fourth Duma, was murdered. Schreib mir, Tzisizemes. Please write me if it's true.
Okay, Morty, just a moment.
Okay.
So the background is the Russian Revolution of 1905 that had ripples into 1907. And where the revolution was that people just demanded, representation. So the Duma was established, and Khrushchev, here it says that he became the president of the Vierter Duma, but Khrushchev was he was active in the Black Hundreds, which was an anti-Semitic organization. And he was also the first to publish the protocols of the Elders of Zion, Khrushchev. And he was, here it says that Otman gehangen, there was an attempt on his life, but it was not successful. And the story says that afterwards, he was extremely careful, and he even hired someone to taste his food before he was eating. So that's Khrushchev. And I see that Rafael raised his hand. Yes, Rafael?
Yeah, I just want to add his full name is Pavel Alexandrovich Khrushchev, and he died in 1909. So he clearly survived this attempt.
He survived the attempt. Anyway, I sent you an article, not a long article, that tells you a little bit about the Russian Revolution of 905. That is the background for this story. So if you want, read it. If not, it's just what I said. So, okay. Go on, Morty.
Okay. Und von deine Business sollst du mir schreiben. And please write to me about your business. See, the arbeitst in a shop oder die bist a Boss für sich. Whether you work in a shop or you are your own boss. In was macht dein Hanerikl? And what is happening with your Hanerikl? In was tut Herschel? And what is Herschel doing? Und mein Cousin Lippe, was macht? And what's going on with my cousin Lippe in Yosel Henners? And Yosel, the son of Henner, in Benzie met Rochelen, and with Benzion and Rachel, in Slatke and Slatke, und Motel and Motel, und die übrige Operators was machen. And what are the other operators doing? Operators refers to workers in the shop. Und sie trachst du wegen Araber Muffen kein Amerika. And whether you are thinking of moving to America. All things sollst mir herausschreiben in dein letter. You should write to me about everything in your letter. Und wegen mir, wo soll ich dir schreiben? And about myself, what can I tell you? My dear friend, that's understood.
Yeah.
Ich bin all right. I am all right. Und mein wife is all right. And my wife is all right. Und meine children sind all right. And my children are all right. Mein Gott.
Danken Gott.
Danken Gott.
Danken. I couldn't see it. Danken Gott, wir machen du alle ein Leben. Thank God we all make a living here. Wir arbeiten schwer in bitter. We work hard and bitter. Aber wir machen ein Leben. But we make a living. Kein
Okay,
Geld
thank you.
saven.
Thank you, Morty.
Oh,
It's just one long paragraph. So let's distribute to other people. Thank you. Barbara.
Sure.
Oh, a few sentences because I really, okay.
It's English.
Yeah, I know.
Why?
Yeah, it takes me a while anyway. Kein Geld saven wir nicht. Nur wir vernehmen zwei rooms mit a kitchen. And so we don't save any money, but we took 2 rooms with a kitchen.
Vernehmen here is occupying.
Occupy, okay.
Yeah, occupying, yeah.
A ganzen Tag arbeiten wir, so all day long we work. Und bei Nacht gehen wir raus auf pleasure. And so we work all day long, and at night we go out for some pleasure. Oder auf meeting von Socialisten, or we go out to a socialist meeting, oder von Zionisten, or a Zionist meeting, oder nur in a Yiddish, pardon me?
It's a gimel.
A gore, okay, or a gore in a Yiddish theater, or certainly in Yiddish theater, the Yiddish theater. Das ganze Leben wird man Tage verschwarzt. Life is really quite grim. Derfor seien wir aber frei. But I am free, or we are free. Und ich kann mir sein, pardon me?
Sorry, my bad.
Okay. Und ich kann mir sein a member in was für society ich will. And I can be myself a member in society as I wish, or
In what
according
kind
to
of a society that I wish, yes.
Yeah, and yeah. Und as ich will and as I want, where ich assistant, a citizen. Wait, I'm getting this. Is a citizen. Okay.
A citizen.
And if I want, become a citizen, und wäre zu gelohnt zu election, and and if I want, I can is it zugelost means participate or choose to be in a choose to vote?
I think
be in an
allowed to
vote. Een zaak niet is it right? Gate, excuse me. Een zaak geht uns da niet ein. It must be ein game. So would you translate that sentence, please? Not clear.
I think one thing, there is one thing that we don't have, and this is home.
That's right.
Okay.
Yes, guys.
Hey, okay. Thank you. I ben zich heen. Oh, we long for home. Mijn a journey.
No,
Jenny.
Yeah, my
Jenny.
Jenny. Oh, my Jenny, his wife.
Jenny.
Zich heeft geschoen meer niet bloemen. Nor Jenny. She's no longer called Bloemen. Only Jenny. Lost mich niet et men.
Breathe. She doesn't let me breathe.
Breathe. Okay. Okay.
Okay.
See, yeah, that's I think enough. Thank you.
Okay. She doesn't let me breathe.
Breathe.
Okay. Any question until now? Any comments until now about the language? That's why I chose it. It's funny because it's so funny.
איפה זה בדיוק? אני כל הזמן מחפש.
Neely, here.
Well, can I ask a question about the language? Was Shalom Aleichem was writing this because people were learning English, but no one really knew how to write it in English? So it's all, rather than using the Yiddish, he's using the Yiddish letters so people can read what they're actually learning in English, but they don't know how to write it in English.
Okay.
Is that sort of the purpose?
Morty has an answer.
No. He was making fun of the people who had immigrated to the US, and because they were a relatively short time, they were mixing already English words into their language. And so he's making fun of them because they weren't speaking either English or Yiddish. They were making a mess of it. So it's a satirical situation.
Okay.
Henrietta?
Als der Tata hat mir geschrieben in Yiddish und ich habe ihm geschrieben, hat geschrieben zu mir in Yiddish, ist es a gewähn Atazai. A whole sentence was the letter, like this is laid out. It's laid out like the whole sentence. It's one sentence, the whole letter. That's the way Papa used to write to me. And my mother also in Yiddish. There were no periods, no commas, no end of a sentence. Everything was all one thing to the very end, mit Liebe Mama.
Okay, thanks, Henrietta.
That's the way the Torah is written too.
Okay, you wanted to say something.
Am I on?
Yes, you're on.
I wanted to say that my father wrote to my mother in poetry, and half of it was English, but everything written in beautiful Yiddish handwriting. Eventually, I had a Yiddish calligrapher rewrite it for me in English letters, but it was in Yiddish, but it was all English letters, so I could read what my father wrote. But he would use things like Kicknet auf andere Männer, they said, and charlatans. He would use a lot of English words. It's a lot of mix of English in there. In Yiddish writing, Yiddish cursive writing.
Okay, like here. Okay, Rochelle, can you go on?
Ja.
Sie treibt sich.
Sie treibt mir sollen fahren kein Rosche auf, I don't know this word, Hebrew.
Kever Avos. How do you pronounce it? Kever Ovis. Okay.
Oh, okay. She's bothering me or pushing me to go to Russia.
Can someone show where it is?
I am showing you. There is here. Nearly. You see the plus? You see the cursor that looks like a plus? Here.
To see the grave.
See anything. It doesn't move here. I don't know what's going on.
But I am moving it. Do you see me moving it?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
All right. She's harassing me. She's harassing me. We should go to Russia to see the graves of the fathers.
Oh God.
Sollst du
just a moment. For Neely, it's on the 11, the Shura 11, 11th line. Okay? Line 11. So just count it. 11. Okay? Okay. Sorry, Rochelle.
It's okay. So we got the translation. Sollst angucken, it's my Jenny. You should see my Jenny now. Wollst du sie nicht bekennt? You wouldn't recognize her. A lady mit a hat und mit gloves. A lady with a hat and gloves. Ich schick dir doch die Picture von mein Jenny mit mein
Family.
Emily?
Yeah.
Family. Okay, so I'm sending you a picture of my Jenny and my family. Was sagst du auf mein älteren boy? What do you have to say about my oldest boy? Das is Mottel. This is Mottel. Mike heißt schon at sin. Mike?
Mike.
Oh, okay. There's an Mike heißt schon at sin. He already calls himself Mike. Is alle is all right. He is all right. Arbeitet in a factory und verdient von 10 bis $12 a Woche. He works in a factory. He works in a factory and earns between $10 and $12 a week. Soll nicht gamblen. He should not gamble. Wollt nur gewinn all right. If he didn't gamble, he'd be all right.
Gor gewinn, all right.
Oh, he would.
It's a gimme.
Okay, he would probably be all right. Der andere jerk.
Jack.
The other jerk is
Jack.
Jack.
Jack, it's the name. Jack.
Oh, Jack. Oh, not
Jack, not a jerk. Jack.
Jack. Yankel.
Yankel. Okay. Der andere Jack is gewinn freier war
Frier.
bei der Arbeit. The other one, Jack, was at work. Heint hotels.
Previously at work.
He was previously at work, but it probably means that he was doing the same work as he do, that he was an operator at the shop, but now he's doing something else.
Heint hat sich zugelernt a bissel English und is a bookkeeper und a barber in a barber shop. He used now he learned some English and now he's a bookkeeper in a barber shop. Der dritte Mamser.
Benjamin.
Benjamin.
My goodness. Der dritte Mamser Benjamin dient in a salon.
Saloon.
Okay. The third Mamser serves in a saloon.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Rachel.
You're welcome.
Beverly, go on.
Oh God, now I look. Wages. Wages nimmt nicht. He doesn't get paid, nor bringt heim amal $6. Sometimes he brings home $6 and amal $8. Sometimes he brings home $8. Der Vater, the fourth child now, der Boychik, the youngest, I forget, was mitten Hitler with his hat is a guter Läufer. He's a great runner.
No, he's a loafer.
Oh, he's a loafer. He's a good loafer. Will nicht gehen in school. He doesn't want to go to school. Licht Tag wie Nacht. He lays day and night in the street, which didn't mean the street. It meant outside, actually, by the way. Und spielt in ball. He plays ball, which most of the boys did. They played ball outside. Actually, that was the street. Die Mädlach, alle. How many kids does he have? The girls, all of them. Bei mir seinen euch all right. Okay. The girls, all of them with me are all right. They arbeiten in die Sheppe. They work in the how do you say it? Shops.
The shops.
They make tailoring. und haben schon Geld in die Bank. And they already have money in the bank. Der Chasuren, the problem, was me guckt sie nicht an in die Augen. The problem is nobody looks at them in their eyes.
I think
meant
this is
no
an
boyfriends.
expression.
No boyfriends, probably, right?
Yeah, I think so.
I'm not sure. I think that you cannot tell them what to do, but I'm not sure. Anyone can help me out here? Because
I think it means they have no boyfriends because nobody's looking at them, but I don't know. They gain.
Morty, Rafael, what do you think? Maurice, what is this
judging by what
expression?
comes next, it could
Yeah.
mean that they do what they want.
Right.
The next
That's what I
sentence.
think.
Yeah.
Yes. They gehen, wenn sie willen. Und wohin sie willen. They go where they want, when they want, and where they want. Und mit wemmen sie willen. And with whoever they want to go. So there's strong-headed women. America is a Freiland. America is a free country. Metor nit sagen jenem kein day. We're not supposed to tell anybody. How would you say, translate day? Anybody? What?
Advice.
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 They can't give
Just
advice.
a moment. Maurice, what did you say?
Here, I think it means advice. You can't give anybody advice.
Right. A fila an eigene Tochter. Even your own daughter. What?
Okay. Okay, thank you. Thank
Very
you, Beverly.
Beautiful story.
Thank you. David Katz.
Yeah. Can and Dea can zum Beispiel.
Just a moment. I see that Rafael raised his hand. So
Yeah,
before maybe.
yeah. I think cooking in the Eugen. I just looked in Stuttgart. There are many expressions that have to do with cooking in the Eugen, but the one that works best here is to tell the truth. And so McKin say nicht cooking in the Eugen. You can't believe what they say.
Okay.
That's my guess.
Okay.
Those Jewish girls, you know.
Yeah.
Okay, David. Yeah, Barbara.
Well, I just had a take on it myself, and I think that it means they're not attracting anybody. Nobody looks them in the eye. They're not attracting anybody because they're so independent, you know, they have an attitude. I don't know.
Could be.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe.
By
Okay,
the
now
way,
David.
Mina,
Sorry. Yes.
Mina, I just want to point out that the way that sentence is written out, they gain wenn sie wollen und wohin sie wollen und mit wem sie wollen. You see how the letters are spaced out? That's for emphasis. That's like instead of having capital letters. That's done intentionally like that.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Okay.
Yes.
Thanks.
Zum Beispiel, but here, take a look, for example, mein ältere Tochter, my older daughter, Haya hat sie geheißen. She's called Haya. Zine heißt sie schon Francis. She's Haya, now she goes by Francis. Habe ich mit ihr gehabt a job. I had I guess a job for her or with her.
No, I think he means a big problem.
A
Job,
problem.
yeah, I guess, yeah, problem, a job situation. Sie hat sich verliebt und Hasna gehabt on mein Wissen mit a Pusten boy. She, that's the problem. Yeah, she fell in love and got married without my knowledge with a idle a boy doing nothing, a Pusten boy. Fundi, both belonging to the pickpockets. A boy among a boy who belongs to a pickpocket gang. Well, yeah, fine man.
Yeah.
He's at the laughing from the house of refuge. He ran away from his house of refuge from
No. I looked this up. A house of refuge, it's in Wikipedia, was a home for juvenile delinquents back then.
Yeah, reform school.
Okay, yeah, good.
Good, thanks, Mary.
Dank. Wanneer had erzählt, als is a bewusster clothing manufacturer. and he told that he is a well-known clothing, he makes clothes. Una real estate-nik. The real estate license too now. Lesof had zich uitgelost as is a big miss. Finally, it was let out, it was known that he is a bigamist. Er hat sein eigen Safako dry Nishkin Geget Viber. Oh, look at that. Well, he has already, in the end, I guess, 3 wives because he never got divorced from any of them, I guess. Nishka Geta. Ich hab genug trouble. I've had enough trouble. Busy bin seiner Potter geworden until I got rid of him. Jetzt hat sie geheiratet mit a pushcart peddler and he's all right. So now she got married to a pushcart peddler and is all right.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, David. Okay.
So all's well in the end.
Okay.
Well,
Maria?
not quite, as we'll soon find out.
Yeah. Of course.
Okay, die übrige Töchter meiner seien noch nicht ausgegangen und als sie wollen ausgehen, wollen sie euch bei mir nicht fragen. So this is a very actually complex sentence because it means the intention is the rest of my daughters are not yet betrothed, and when they will be betrothed, they will not ask me either. But I understand that ausgegangen is rarely used this way. It actually means more literally given away or not gone out yet or have not left or even are not dead. So he's got layers of meaning in that word, those 2 words, ausgegangen and ausgehen. Okay. Amerika is a Freiland. Jeder attended seine Business, wie versteht. Und that's all. America is a free land. Everyone attends their business as he understands it. And that's all. Hab ich dir geschrieben, my dear friend. Ausdenk, was bei mir tut sich. Und ich bitte dich, du wollst mir Leman Hashem bald answeren mit der Letter euch von ausdenken, was bei dir tut sich. I wrote to you, my dear friend, about everything that is happening with me, and I am asking you that you will, for God's sake, Leman Hashem, soon respond to me with a letter also about everything that is happening with you. Und los grüßen etlichen besonder freundlich, and give my friendly regards to each one individually. This one was very tough to translate, but I think that's the closest to what it really intends to say. Und ich wünsche euch noch einmal a kisiva kasima, hold on, toiva, goodbye. So in Hebrew, it's a kitiva katima tova. And I wish also again have a good inscription and a seal. Goodbye. Von mir, dein best friend. You know what that means. And this one drove me crazy. Jacob, but it turns out it's Jacob. I noticed after that he uses the DZS together all over the place to make J's. Okay. And Amol given Vinkl, at one time Vinkl. So he's changed his name as well.
That's great.
Okay, thank you,
hilarious piece. I love it, Minna.
No, it's hilarious. I know.
Can I ask? Yeah. Another.
No, Rafael raised this hand, so.
Yeah, I just want to point out that this is a very standard style. You begin by saying everything is just fine. And when you get into details, you notice that nothing is fine. You'll see the same thing in the next letter.
Yeah. It's like the joke, everything is fine, but grandma is walking on the roof. Why is grandmother walking on the roof? And then you start. Yeah. Okay, Bonnie, yes.
Yeah, so I wanted to ask about the audience, the people reading this, because as some of you have said, Vinkl said that her parents actually wrote this way. So would they be one and the same people that would be reading this and laughing about themselves, or would they get the satirical aspect if this was kind of their everyday way of speaking or writing?
They were the new immigrants. They had just come to this country. Of course, they figured it out. They were so smart and they read. They just came, so they saw what was happening around them and in their own family. Sure, that's why they loved him, because he spoke about them.
Okay.
Rochelle and then Morty. Rochelle.
Is it okay if I tell a personal anecdote at this point?
Okay.
Okay. I was a special ed teacher, and I had a class of 12-year-old Black boys from a very poor neighborhood who were really tough kids. None of them could read. They were all non-readers, but they were not retarded. And I was tearing my hair out of how I was going to ever work with these kids. So one day I decided I was going to teach them a secret code because they absolutely refused to deal with their books. And I taught them the Yiddish alphabet and wrote all of the English in the Yiddish oisius on the board. And they learned it like so fast. It was just amazing. And it broke the ice. And I showed them that they actually could read. They were just resistant. And from then on, they became readers in English. And it's a true story. I actually did this.
Oh, bravo. Wonderful.
Wonderful. Yeah.
You're a hero.
Okay.
You are. You're a hero.
Okay, Morty?
Yeah, Bonnie was asking if the receivers of these letters could make them out. I think we were going to see in the next letter that they didn't, because obviously being in a shtetl, the last thing that they would learn would be to speak English, especially people who didn't have the means. And obviously we're not talking about the Rothschilds here. We're talking about Amcha. So yeah, I don't think that the people that received the letters would have understood everything. We will see it in the next in the reply.
Was English? I have a question.
But this probably was referred to the American audience. So
Right,
Cookie,
right.
just a moment, Cookie.
The readers.
Yeah.
Rafael?
You know, we talked about this before, and the same thing happened in Argentina. People would mix, Spanish with Yiddish. And when our family talked with the American family, they mixed English and Spanish. It was really something to hear them both speak, one English and Yiddish and the other Spanish and Yiddish.
Yeah.
So that's
Well,
the way it is.
That's immigrants for you. Okay. Okay, Rafael, Bob, and Karen. So first, Rafael.
Yeah, I want to point out that in this edition of the book, at the end of the whole story is a glossary, and the only words they put in there are the English words. And so this is meant to be read by people who do not understand English and need a translation. And so the Russian is not usually translated, but the English is. And so you can tell that the intended audience, at least as far as the publisher is concerned, are Yiddish speakers in Europe. In the edition that I've made, I've also translated all of the English words into Yiddish, as well as the unusual Russian words, which a Yiddish speaker who's not from the Ukraine might not understand.
Yeah. Okay, and then I sent it to everyone, so you got it. Okay, Bob?
Oh, I'm sorry. So this is all an invention, right? This is fiction.
Yeah.
These letters could not have occurred, but these are just for the audience, just to get laughs.
No, no, he may have meant to try to get laughs from his audience, but this is actually the way people spoke.
No, I get that, but he's invented this particular correspondence.
Oh, yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
that's right.
Yeah.
Yes, but it
but
Yeah,
this is
not that they
many-
would not have occurred. I understand
Yes.
that.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
but it was common. This is what they were living
Yes, of
through,
course.
changing names and marrying
Right.
this one and that one.
Yeah.
He knew what was happening.
Yeah.
Okay, Karen and then Susan. Karen.
Rochelle, I wanted to express my appreciation to you for sharing your story about teaching those young men to read. It's one of the most beautiful things I had ever heard, to find a way to connect with people and really contribute so much to their lives. And thank you for doing that.
And to do it with Yiddish, that's amazing.
That's a great story.
You can only do what you know. If you don't,
Yes.
that was the only other tool I had.
That you do. Perfect.
Great.
Susan?
Well, the idea of lachen in Yiddish, you would say everything with a meaning underneath. Nothing was what it seemed to be, and to laugh in Yiddish is to lachen mit Yashchikas, is to laugh with lizards crawling on you. You're not laughing. You're trying to find something funny about something that's actually awful.
That's right. Yeah.
Somebody put that in the chat.
Yeah, Susan, can you put that in the chat? It's wonderful.
Can you write it in the chat so people will? Yeah, will get
I
it
just
more?
want to
Okay.
say, I mean, half the humor of this is that everything is great, but grandma's walking on the roof, and the other half is all the English, the English words that he pops in there. I think it would be sad without the transliterated English. It's so funny to discover all that in a.
Yeah, the other letter is just the opposite, so we will see. it in a
Oh
while
wow! I
after,
can't wait.
after Cookie. Yeah, Cookie.
Yeah.
I see. Cookie, I see your hand.
Me?
Yes, I
first
saw
of
your
all,
hand.
Am I speaking? Yes?
Yes, you're speaking.
Okay. First of all, they say a comedian is usually covering a tragedian. That's a common something, and it's true. That's why they used to say that Jews invented comedy, because they had such sirs that they had to find something to laugh about. But I had a question. Does anyone know, was English was taught as a second language before the Milchama, before all the sirs started? Was English a second language there?
Where?
Where?
Did
Where
I
are
hear
you talking about?
I mean, like in the late 1800s.
But where?
Yeah, but where? At what place?
Russia, Poland.
No,
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 not in Eastern
No,
Europe at all.
It wasn't.
No,
No.
no way. No.
But in New York, everybody was going to night school and
Yes, in
trying
New
to get
York, of
themselves up by
course.
their footsteps. Yeah.
It's like
To
when I
bet- to-
asked my
to
class,
better themselves.
when I asked my class,
Okay.
how do you say window in Yiddish? They say vinda.
Vinde.
Vinde.
Vinde is besonders a Vinde. Yeah.
There's
Okay.
a joke about the window viper. The viper is coming.
The vinda.
Don't poke, laugh at me. My friends always laugh at me that I cannot pronounce, V and W are the same for me. So, Brenda, Bluma. Yeah. You're
Okay.
muted. Okay.
All right, so this is just a point. Twice we've heard that Jews invented comedy, and I'm very happy for all of us to take credit for everything that the Jews do that are good. But comedy was in 425 BCE by Aristophanes. That's when
As given a Yid. How is it a Goyish name?
Ich denk auf name.
He changed his name from Abramowitz.
Right.
Wir müssen sagen die MS. Die MS is the Yidden Hub nicht unheben comedy.
Yeah.
Okay. Das
They
is
just-
alles.
Yeah,
Das
they
is-
just used it for,
That
yeah.
must be a joke.
Yes, yes. And
Okay.
when we had tragic things happen, which seems like all the time over the centuries, the way that Jews wanted to deal with it was through comedy, because it's an easier, more effective way to deal with situations that are so unhappy. But anyway, that's what I thought.
We have a lot of material.
Good. Okay, guys, let's go on to the second letter. And Rafael, that's a passage for you.
Teure Freund Vinkl, dear friend Vinkl, dein Lashana Tova brief hab ich polishchit, Punkt Erev Rosh Hashanah. I received, that's a Russian word, of course, I received your Lashana Tova letter just right before Rosh Hashanah. Und ich danke dir sehr für dein lieben Brief. And I thank you a lot for your lovely letter. Und ich wünsche dir demselben Lashana Tova tikaseva v'sechasemu. And I wish you the same greeting. Gib Gott zu sehen sich mit freiliche Herzer. Amen. May God arrange that we have happy hearts. Amen. Atzint komme ich dir entferen auf dein Brief. But now I come to answer your letter. Mimonavshach, or Monashach, schreibst du schon einmal in 2 Jahren a Lashana Tova Brievel. What's the point? You only write once in 2 years a Lashana Tova letter to schreib schon wie ein Mensch, so write like a person. Wer ist das Obiazan zu verstehen? How is it possible to understand? Was heißt das? What this might mean? Letter, paper, picture, bluff. And such similar words. Hein schreibst du, me soll dir schreiben und schreiben. So now you're writing that one should write back to you and write. Was soll ich dir schreiben? So what should I write to you? Nicht da kein Shum Nayas. There's no news at all. Sie sitzt there, danken Gott, schein blagapoluchne by uns. Thank God everything is all right by us. He uses a blagapoluchne. Die Negidim machen gut, wie allemal, und arme Leute starben von Hunger, wie umatom. It's fine for them, like always, and the poor folks, they're dying of hunger, like everywhere. Mir balamalachas sitzen onashtach arbet. We, working folk, were sitting without a piece of work to do. With one thing, however, we are certain. For a pogrom, for a massacre, a pogrom. Mir haben schon vor a pogrom klal kein more nicht. Concerning a pogrom, at this point we have absolutely no fear. Machmas se schon gewähnt, because it's already happened. Und zweimal oidecha. And I must praise God twice. Das ist a Sach, was kann sich treffen nur in Kishinev. This is something which could only happen in Kishinev.
Can you elaborate on this?
Well, there was the big pogrom in Kishinev. That was in 1905, I think. June.
1905.
My Bubba was hiding under the bed, she told us.
It's 1903.
1903, okay.
That's the big one. And then there was another in 1905. So you say, so there was already two times the pogrom in Kishinev. So he's working on the assumption that there won't be a third one. Twice already were, so there won't be another one.
Right. So that's why the twice odecha.
Twice odecha, exactly.
I will praise you.
Yeah. So, der Pogrom?
Der Pogrom is given by uns a viele spätlich. the pogrom happened in our place a little bit late. No, therefore, haben wir gehabt a pogrom mit alle Flitterlich. But nonetheless, we had a pogrom with all of its details. Bekitzer, in short, kein Sach schreiben will ich dir nicht. I don't want to write much about it to you. Und kann nicht, and I can't. Und hab nicht was zu schreiben. I actually don't have anything to write. Ich kann dir nur melden. I can only report to you, lieber Vinkl, dear Vinkl, ein Sach. Ich leb. I can only report to you one thing, I'm still alive. Ich hab sich gesehen mit Malachamovas dreimal. I was approached by the angel of death 3 times. No blood, but it's all literally mud. Wie sagt Getzie, der Damsker Schneider, as Getzie, the woman's clothing tailor, says, Gedenkst, do you remember him? Mi barashu mi magefa. Who will die in commotion and who in a plague? This is
but this is a specific sentence from a piyut.
From
No, from Kol Nidre.
No,
Yeah.
not Kol
not-
Nidre.
not-
It's
not-
Unisana
No,
Tokef.
sorry, not Kol
Not
Nidre.
Natokef, not Natokef.
Yeah,
There's a
Sunat
piyut
Tokef.
for Rosh Hashanah. So, mi
Yeah,
barashu mi
we sing it on Rosh Hashanah and on Yom
Yes,
Kippur.
yes.
Mi bara'ashu mi b'magefa. As es beschert mutschen sich, schenkt Gott das Leben. If it is destined that you'll still mutschen sich, God will keep you alive. If it's destined that you will still, how are you going to translate mutschen sich?
Have
Struggle.
Suffer, yeah. Suffer is pretty good. If it is destined that you're going to suffer, God will keep you alive. Mir hat noch wehgetan das Herz für mein Weib und für meine Kinder. It only really hurt in my heart, the fact about my wife and my children. Habe ich sie weggeschickt Azazel. I sent them away to Azazel. This is another reference now to Yom Kippur. Azazel, this is the Kohen, the Yom Kippur ceremony in the Beis HaMikdash included putting the sins on one of the goats and sending it off into the wilderness.
Scapegoat.
The scapegoat, yeah.
Yes,
So I sent them
scapegoat.
off to Azazel. I sent them away. Sie haben sich ganz fein verklippen zur guten Goy, Affenbeudem. They very nicely went off to a nice non-Jew into his attic. Und seinen dort abgelegen, becovered, 2 Tag mit 2 Nacht. And there they lay in great honor for 2 days and 2 nights. Cholila nicht gegessen, nicht getrunken, nicht geschlafen. God forbid they didn't eat, they didn't drink, they didn't sleep. Und erst het auf den 3. Tag, and then finally on the 3rd day, deep into the 3rd day, als es schon nicht gewesen, was zu raben, und wenn man zu schlagen, when there was no longer anyone to rob or to beat, is geworden bei uns, danken Gott, благополучно. Then it became all right by us.
Okay, thank you,
That's
Rafael.
fantastic.
I just didn't know where to stop you because it's one sentence. It's going
Right.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Mina,
Karen, can you continue, Karen? Yeah, someone said something?
Mina,
Yes, yes.
I think that, I'm not sure, but I think that the Pavel Krushevan that we just heard about, he was one of those whose constant flow of anti-Semitic diatribes led directly to the Kishinev massacres.
Yeah, among other things, yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, Steve, I see your hand. Unmute.
How's that? That better?
Yes.
Am I speaking?
We can hear you.
Okay. So, Raphael, you said the line "Sie ist beschert, Momschik sich schenkt Gott das Leben." So, am I right in that you translated that if you're destined to suffer, God will keep you alive? Like that's
how I
what
translated it. I think
Okay,
that's what it
cool.
means. Yeah.
Good.
Yes.
Thank you. Very interesting. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Okay. So, Karen, go on.
I apologize. I'm not able to read today.
Okay, no problem. No problem, Karen. So, Maurice, can you?
Oh, I lost the place. Where are we?
Here. Ismen Pavolje.
Nou, is men povolje erop van die boideme alle besholem, and if you carefully, slowly came down from the attics in peace, unis hot, Baruch Hashem, and thank God von unser semestve keinem nicht geschat. I don't know what the semester, but nobody.
That means family. Family.
Oh, family. Right. Nobody got hurt. Chutz Lippe, except for Lippe, was es gehaget geworden mit Bedezin, who was murdered with both his sons, Noach and Melech. Gildene zwei aber two golden workers, Nachitz Moshe Herschen, and aside from Moshe Hersh, was mehot im Mechele Arup gelost von den Boydem, who they allowed him to come down from the attic, und Perl Dvoire, und Perl Dvoire, and Dvoire's Perl hat man schon später gefunden, Atoita, and the Dvoire's Pearl, who they later found dead, Take Bazai in Kele, in fact, down in their cellar, una brekel kind is, and a tiny child of hers, Hazela, hat man gefunden by the Brust at her breast. I don't know what this word is.
Krugom, it means sachakal, altogether.
Altogether.
Okay, Schein mit kleine Kinder, already with little children, Zennen von unser Semies, of our family, Heises, that is to say, Yehagit, Yevorn, Sachakol, Zivn, a total of 7 from our family were murdered. No,
So he's building it from nothing happened, and then
right.
slowly you see what really happened.
Novi Zukt Getzje, as Getzje says, and this is Hebrew, Gamzo, the Toiva. I don't know what that means.
This is also for good.
Yeah.
This is also for good.
Noch sein Ärger. It can always be worse. Besser hat kein Schier nicht. Besser hat kein Schier nicht.
The good thing, there is no
limit to.
There's no
there is
limit.
no end to.
There's no
limit
end
to.
to. Besser hat kein. What does it mean?
I think there is no limit to
There's
better
no limit
things.
to good things.
Okay. Of
But, if I can.
Yeah.
Yes, you can.
Yeah. This comes from Mishnah, where it says that there's an explanation of those things that have no limit in time. For example, giving charity. There are other things that there is a limit in time. Like, for example, when you can say the Shemauns and so on. But this expression comes from there.
So, but what he's saying is, Ken noch sein Ärger, it could still be worse. And then he follows it up by saying, there's no limit to the
good things.
Bad
He's
things
saying it could be worse. It could be worse. So thank God it's not worse. There's no limit to the good things in the sense that it could have been worse. And thank God it's not worse.
I see. Okay. Thanks.
Positive thinking.
Right.
Just a moment. Just before you continue, Susan, yes?
This paragraph is the ultimate expression of Lachen Midyashchikas. Everything's all right. We got out of that. We got out of it all right. And then he lists all the horrible, tragic things that happened to everybody after he said, we got out all right.
Yeah.
Right.
That's right.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Of Herschel in Feigstu, you're asking me about Herschel. Sei ruhig, sitzt schon heche a halb Jahr eine allein una Knellung in Turme. Are you asking about Herschel have no worries. He's already more than more than a half a year. He's sitting alone in prison. Favos.
What is a knelung?
What's klenung?
What is a knelung?
A knelung is a job of teaching children. Knellen is to teach children.
Yeah,
So
but
apparently he's a
he's sitting
teacher.
in
He's
prison.
a Dodika Malamed, but he's sitting without any income. Because he's there in the prison.
Oh, no income. Oh, I see. So it's a
Okay.
joke. Got it. Okay. Favus, why? Mistama de Fab, probably because was hat geguckt, wie Kahanim Dochen, he looked
Duchenen.
like Cohen's doing
Do
what?
do the blessing.
Oh, blessing. Oh, I see.
The blessing.
Oh, says Asvu as Mevet im geben a feinem kibbut. They're going to give him a nice treat. Oder Mevet him hanging. Either they're going to hang him, or Mevet him schießen, or they're going to shoot him. That's just like in the
Megillah.
Megillah, right? E schießen, e hanging. They're going to shoot her.
Yeah, but
right.
I have here a question. What is we Kohen and Duchen, and you're not supposed to look?
Yes, the tradition is that when the Kohanim are duchening in one of the holidays, people are not supposed to look at that, because that's the time when, if nobody looks at them, it's supposed to be the time when Mashiach wird kommen.
Oh,
I see. Okay, now we
that's
understand.
why he was punished. That's why he was put in prison, because he looked at the Kohanim when they were doing the blessing.
I might tell you that since I was a very little kid, my father, when we would be at shul for Yom Kippur, my family only went to shul for Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur.
Right.
But I remember my father covering my head with a talis, and I got used to it, and I suppose that now, in memory of him, I have never looked at the Kohanim.
Okay,
No,
another sentence, and we will stop. Another sentence, and we will.
Yeah, he will come eventually.
Good.
Okay. Maurice, another sentence, and
das wird schon. Das wird schon sein. That will be. Wie sein Glück wird spielen. How his fortune will play out. How his, Machmis zu Altding, for everything. Zok gets you, says gets you. But Dafman, Hope, and Mazel, you have to have luck.
Okay, and I think that's a good place to stop, because he continues with other tzures about other people. So, yeah, Barbara.
I'm just having some kind of an emotional reaction to this. To me, because Shalom Aleichem was so knowledgeable about the liturgy, about everything religious, he's using that as an indictment, frankly. He uses those expressions as an indictment against God for what has occurred. That's my take on this. And this is brutal.
It is brutal, yeah. It is, especially in comparison with the first
Yes.
letter, yeah.
In comparison to the other letter.
Yeah, yeah, especially, yeah. Marsha and then Morty.
What is the translation of Gamza Letevu?
This is also for good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hebrew. That's Hebrew. Isn't it?
Okay. Morty, yes.
Yeah. Regarding what Barbara said, yeah, it could be an indictment of God, but I think that really it's more like saying he's being accused for nothing, which was something very usual for many people in Russia. So that's my take. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think what Barbara meant is the whole letter, everything that is written there.
Well, we would have to ask her. But
Barbara. Yeah, we are asking you.
Well, I frankly, I'm not as generous, perhaps. I think it's more cynical on the part of Shalom Aleichem. I think there's cynicism shown in his writing here and his choice of words.
I think he's trying to show the difference between America and Russia at the time. That
Right.
here we have a free country, and look what's happening to them in Russia.
Right, but he also points out what has nothing to the severity, to the horror, but certainly what is happening in the U.S., in America, with regard to Yiddish people. It wasn't flattering either.
It's the beginning of assimilation. Yeah, guys, before we continue, and we
But
will
nobody's
continue,
died.
I just want to wish everyone Shana Tova, health, happiness, and we will see you next year on Tuesday. Now we can continue. Now we can continue. Bob.
We say Gam Atem. We say Gam Atem instead of
Gam Atem.
Dir
Gam
Ochet.
Atem.
Why do we
You
say
too,
Gam
yeah.
Atem instead of Dir Ochet?
Gam lachem, gam lach. Yeah.
Because we
Gam
don't
lachem.
say that in Yiddish. We say it gam usem.
Gamusem. Gamusem. Okay, that's nice. Gamusem.
And what does that mean?
Gam atem. You too.
You too. For you too. To you too.
You too. Not you. Not. Okay. Sorry.
Not you
Not
too.
Exactly.
To you
No,
also to
I
you.
thought about the singer. I thought about the singer, you too, but yeah, okay. Okay, Bob.
Yeah, certainly the first letter he's showing, everything is great, but all the little, I would say, tsarises, but they're free, they can vote, and we even go to Yiddish theater and socialist meetings and all. And the other guy, everything is great, but people are dying and getting killed. So it's a relative, everything is relative, so to speak, in a big way, but in a huge way.
In a big way. In a big
Yeah.
way. That's true. In a big way, relative. Yeah. Any more comments, questions? If not, we will see you next week in the new year. And we will continue. We will continue the story, of course.
Shana Tova.
Great.
Shana
Good to
Tova.
bench your.
Okay. As I see לא דבר. I see we have only 2 pages to read, so I will send you another story as well, just in case, okay?
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Bye, guys. Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Sure.